Live from WOWT, First Alert 6 starts now.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here on First Alert 6 streaming this Tuesday morning. I'm Cerise Cole.
And I'm Erin Hartley, joined by meteorologist Jarrett Lansford and the senior chief, Rusty Lord, talking about humidity. We've really kind of gotten away with it these last couple of days, but now it's returning.
Yeah, well, we're going to start to see that build in over the next couple of days. The good news is we don't have that much to worry about here this morning. It's the last little bit of it, of the cool, comfortable air, I think, that's on the way today. So let's talk about it. We're going to dive right in here as we see temperatures that are in the 50s right now. 55, southeast wind at about 6 miles per hour, so light wind, low humidity right now. And the big story is that we're going to build in the heat today, but we don't quite get the humidity with it just yet. 49 in Bennington, 54 in Springfield, 53 in Bellevue as of right now. So this will probably be the last morning we have widespread 50s to start off the day. Even some 40s as you go outside the city too. 48 Clarinda, 48 in Denison and Columbus. So enjoy the cool air if this is your thing. This will be the last morning. You can probably open up the windows and have it be incredibly comfortable with low humidity. But satellite and radar show the clear skies that we're going to get to enjoy today. And you'll notice the muggy meter, pleasant and refreshing today. That's where the line stays pretty much all day into the evening hours. So that's good news. But if you want to go enjoy the pool, you got the summer warmth to go along with it, up near 88 for the high today. 88, 89 degrees where we'll end up by 4 or 5 o'clock. So if you got the afternoon available, pretty good pool day. A far cry from yesterday. 7, 8, 9 o'clock, we're starting to warm up. By 9, we're up to 67. By noon, we're up near 80. Already well above the 70 we had for a high yesterday. 87 by 3. By 5 o'clock, we're up to about 89 degrees. It's a lot of 80s on the map. Could have an isolated 90 or 2 showing up. Car thermometer may read a little bit warmer. Remember, that gives you the pavement temperature, not the air temperature. That's why we can't use that and make it official. By 7 o'clock, we're at 87, and then falling back gradually tonight. 70s gradually turn into the 60s, and that's where we'll start off tomorrow in the 60s and warm up even more. How about 93 for the high on Wednesday, 91 on Thursday. That 93, that would be the warmest we've been so far this season. Haven't been any warmer than 91, right, Jared?
91.
Okay, just double checking there.
Oh, well, here we go.
Diving into it there.
I like that Mother Nature is kind of easing us in, so we don't have to worry about the extreme heat or humidity today. But when will it start to kick in?
I think we'll notice a little bit more of that tomorrow, obviously. Okay. It's not going to be an all-day thing, which is good news. Then we'll go to 91 on Thursday, again, with a little more humidity. And you can see what happens is then we start to introduce some thunderstorm chances. So you get a little more moisture in the air. Here's how the muggy meter looks tomorrow. Up here in the muggy range, at least for the morning, may tail off a bit in the afternoon, and that's why I think we can spike to 91. Drier air warms up a little easier, and the heat index value doesn't stray too much from the actual air temperature tomorrow into the afternoon. So you go 3, 4, 5 o'clock, and there's your heat index value that doesn't look all too bad. So the muggy meter, then from there on, likely stay up in the muggy range in some part of every day this weekend and into early next week. You can see it even getting up into that steamy range. So you're going to notice that in the 10-day forecast as well. 91 Thursday, 88 on Friday, 84 on Saturday. So not atrocious heat or humidity, not getting slammed with it right away. And notice the really small chances of showers and a few thunder showers. None of these are really all that widespread. Well, that prominent. I don't expect washouts, but something to watch on Friday. I think a little boundary tries to fall into the area on Friday and could be just enough to spark a couple when you combine it with that heat and humidity. Friday's important, obviously, with the first set of CWS games ongoing. Again, remember, it's starting Friday, so you got some afternoon and evening things to watch for there with maybe, again, might not be any more than 2 or 3 storms on the map, but you know how it goes. If they pass over the stadium, then you got problems.
Yes. Okay, Rusty, thanks. In the meantime, going to check on the traffic with Jarrett.
And we're watching some of the old familiar ones that we talk about on these streams. Let's start with I-80, right?
That's a shock.
Isn't it? Wow. Next, I'll tell you there's vehicles that are on the road. But yeah, it's slowing down on I-80. All that construction that we've got that's in place. And it's the development of that alongside what we're seeing out there with the new ramp closure that's combining to create conditions where things really start to slow down in a hurry. So here in a minute, I'll show you exactly what we're seeing when the camera decides it wants to play along here. But we are looking at that combination of that closure. Here we go. All right, so yeah, you can see things just kind of crawling along through this area. There's the ramp at Giles that's closed. You can see they're painting the bridge. That's the reason why we have that closure in place. So there's lane closures, you have the ramp closed, and when you combine that, you've got the slowdowns entering that area near Giles, and then all the way down to 144th, because a lot of people are using that as their alternate route to try to exit at 144th instead of Giles. So anywhere between about L and 144th, it's going to be slow here, not just today, but that ramp closure expected to last all the way through Monday. So when you combine that, that means that's going to be a problem for us all week long. So plan accordingly for things to be slow through there. Also looking at some pretty decent slowdowns as you're going over the 480 bridge from Council Bluffs. This is another one we've talked about a lot over the last month. And you can see how things just kind of crawling as you're heading westbound. May also be some traffic that's coming in from out of town with the CWS. So you're adding that in. That creates more people who are trying to navigate that construction. A little slow too as you're heading northbound through Florence on 30th, but otherwise we're looking at a lot of our other roads in pretty good shape at this point. Keep an eye on any of these other areas where we start to pick up traffic and often have to compete with the construction zones. But if you're driving along Dodge 370, we're off to a good start.
Nice.
All right, Jared, thank you. In the meantime, more news this morning. History has been made in Omaha. John Ewing was officially sworn in as the city's first elected black mayor. As he took the oath, he thanked family and friends. Ewing says he believes his role is to continue moving the city forward. He also highlighted key issues impacting the city.
We'll report that poverty is on the rise. This is a challenge that we'll have to confront together. And together we can do and meet those challenges that face us as a community as we look to address pressing issues.
City Council now. Danny Begley is the new council president, and Brinker Harding is the VP.
Well, tensions between the Omaha police chief and the Douglas County sheriff. The police department shared what was supposed to be a private letter after it was leaked. Now, it reiterates that the Omaha Police Department is the primary law enforcement agency for the city. Concerns raised in the letter include jurisdiction, media and community relations, and the sharing of operational information. The letter states the sheriff's office didn't let OPD know they were working on the case that led to last month's deputy-involved shooting. Now I'm here at the safety desk with our Maria Cade, and Maria has some information on gun-related deaths and kids.
You never want to hear anything.
You don't want to hear the two together.
No, but this new study is finding that states that loosened their gun laws after a landmark ruling in 2010, they saw a surge in gun deaths for kids and teens. So that 2010 ruling, it gave states the power to set their own gun regulations. And the study found over the next 13 years, thousands more kids died from gun violence than the earlier trends would have predicted. Half of the states that were considered to actually have stricter gun laws, those states actually saw a decrease in child gun deaths. So guns are the leading cause of death among kids and teens in the U.S. They actually passed car accident deaths in 2020.
And so we hate to hear that. All right, you also have some more information about kids, but this time we're talking about their screen time.
Yeah, definitely something that a lot of kids are interacting with nowadays. When you think about it, the more kids are spending time on the screen, according to this study, they're actually using it to cope with socio and emotional things that might be affecting them on their day-to-day life. So the study shows that kids who spend a lot of time with electronics, they're turning to those screens to cope with their emotions. Now, the author says the longer a child has their eyes glued to a device, the greater the chance they will develop those problems. And this could include things like anxiety, depression, in some cases even aggression. Now, the bottom line is experts say parents should set screen time limits for their kids. General recommendations: if you have a kid under 2, really, they shouldn't be using an electronic at all. No screen time for them. Age 2 to 5, that should be limited to about an hour per day. When kids get a little bit older, they say that can be capped about 2 hours a day. But of course, each parent sets their own kids' limits.
Yeah,
so
and sometimes it's harder in the summertime with all the free time, but that's very good to keep in mind, Maria. As always, thank you. And we're back after the break. Stay with us.
All right, welcome back as we start this Tuesday morning. We're taking a live look outside, overlooking the metro area on your screen. We're talking about during the commercial break. During these kinds of temperatures and these days, it can be hard to kind of figure out what to wear. It's like, do you wear the shorts? Do you wear the sweater? So what do you recommend?
I was texting my wife about how to dress our daughter this morning. He probably needs a hoodie to start because we're in the 50s, but you won't need it very long. You'll want long sleeves for maybe the first hour or two of the day, and then into the afternoon, we're going to heat up in a big way. We got to 70 yesterday. We're going to beat that by about 20 degrees. So jacket to start, shorts and some sunglasses today in working order. You just got to wait a little bit before those start to feel comfortable. We're at 49 in Bennington right now, 51 in Louisville, so it's a little cool out there. A lot of 50s. Will be the last morning we say 50s for quite a while. Notice by 9 o'clock we're up to 67, 80 degrees by noon, and by 4 o'clock we're up to about 88 degrees. So if the kids are going outside to play today, it's going to be much warmer than what we dealt with yesterday. And then tomorrow we'll add humidity to that warmth. There's your muggy meter creeping up into the muggy range starting Wednesday, lasting the rest of the week, and could even get a little steamy by early next week. That humidity very much in play for the foreseeable future here. Pool forecast today, upper 80s, sunshine. How about back-to-back pool days? Haven't had that in a while. Low 90s for the high temperature on Wednesday, and there's going to be some more humidity. Now, also with that, the UV index, it's up there on the high side today. So those peak UV rays, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., you want to make sure you lather on the sunscreen multiple times if you're outside for long periods. And don't forget to stay hydrated. Just because it's not incredibly hot or humid, these things can sneak up on you on a day like today. 93 on Wednesday, small chance of a thunder shower on Thursday. You can see, could have a few here in the morning to our north. And then clouds try to bubble up with the humidity in the air. Just more moisture, more heat, easier to fire these things off. I don't see anything widespread on Thursday. We'll watch and see if maybe a few in the afternoon can get going on Friday. Odds just slightly better there. Obviously, we want to pay a little more attention to that as people will be trying to enjoy baseball and everything going on outside down at the CWS, and could have a couple more on Saturday. But right now, over the next 5 days, I would say Friday afternoon probably poses the greatest threat of an isolated thunderstorm.
Okay, so how much rain are we talking, Russ? Friday's an important day.
You get under one of these, you could get a pretty good downpour, maybe get a quarter to a half an inch. The thing is, they're just not going to be widespread. So I don't think this is going to be helpful rain or washout type rain. It might be kind of sit and wait and let a storm pass type of stuff starting Thursday and into the early part of next week. You can see hints that maybe the odds go up a little bit on Tuesday. And by then, you're starting to talk about what could be maybe some overnight rounds of thunderstorms. You look at the rainfall potential. This is over the next week. And I'd say most of this probably pertains to the early part of next week, where we could get some, half inch to 3/4 inch total rainfall. The bigger numbers are going to be to the north. The big washout, drenching, severe rounds of thunderstorms, those stay to the north in this pattern. But we're going to be getting just a few hit and miss stuff, I think, for us.
Okay, so be prepared.
Yep.
Rusty, thank you. In the meantime, you have a new crash to talk about.
Yeah, and 72nd drivers, you'll want to pay attention to this one. It's on your route. It is just a little bit off to the south of Military, right at the intersection with Graceland Drive. So there you can see just off to the south. Now, getting where this has been pulled off to the side onto the shoulder. So you can get through this area in good shape. But do watch for emergency crews that could be working that scene of that crash. Again, this is 72nd just to the south of Military Avenue. While we're talking about 72nd, we can talk about a couple of road closures that are in place for just today. So both of these are now in effect. 72nd between Bennington Road and Northern Hills Drive. So this is a little further to the north than where we were talking about earlier. That will be scheduled to be closed through 6 today. Also, you're looking at a different closure. This is 114th between Ida and Potter. So this is a little south of State Street, scheduled to be closed through 6 p.m. with some road work happening on both of those roads. So you'll need to use an alternate route. 120th is a good alternate route for this area. You go over to this one. You could use maybe Highway 75 as a route to get to where you need to go. As far as how things are moving in the early going as we're heading out the door, we are looking at those delays on I-80 through that construction zone. And it is a lot of our construction zones where things are the slowest. Definitely picking up on Dodge, though. You got some slowdowns right around 72nd and right around 90th as well. But for the most part, it's a pretty solid start to our Tuesday drive.
All right, Jarrett, thanks so much. Well, the community is in mourning this morning after a murder-suicide near an Omaha restaurant.
Yeah, police tell us the victim is 17-year-old Zara Zaransky, also known as AJ. The shooter, 18-year-old Tristan Donner. This happened in the parking lot of the Stokes restaurant near 136th in California. Millard North teachers and friends of AJ's gathered in the Stokes parking lot to reflect about the tragedy.
It's so cliche to say that someone lit up a room, but she really did. She is the most radiant person that any of us ever knew. She was so talented with poetry, with acting, with singing, and the world lost a very big light.
Well, the vigil did include students from Millard North Show Choir and the poetry team. AJ was a member of both. People still living in a troubled Omaha apartment complex only have a couple of weeks to move out.
City View Apartments was placed into a receivership back in April. Several local organizations are now joining together to help people find a new place to live. Residents had complained about broken elevators, bug infestations, and other issues.
It's a bad situation, but it's a good showing of community support and for seeing people as people, because nothing in here is anybody's fault in terms of the condition of the building and where we're at now. So it's about the people. It's about the people today.
If you would like to help City View residents relocate, we have details on our website. Just go to firstalert6.com.
All right, coming up, the start of the College World Series just days away.
Yeah, look at the schedule and pairings when First Alert 6 streaming returns. Welcome back, everybody. We are taking a live look outside the Charles Schwab Field, now complete for the College World Series.
All right, let's check out the 8-team bracket. Murray State earned that final spot with a 5-4 win over Duke. This is their first time at the CWS. They'll get UCLA in that first round. The Racers become the number 4 regional seed to make it to the Omaha area since 1998.
Let's keep that bracket up for a minute and look at some of these matchups. LSU and Arkansas in the first round.
Yeah, you want to spend $100 plus on a ticket. You can go to that one.
Good one.
Saturday night.
Yeah,
Saturday night.
That's going to be perfect.
I don't think Arizona and Coastal Carolina have heard of each other before this.
Yeah, most likely. It's pretty cool that Murray State made it. You don't usually get a Cinderella. You usually got to get a lot of big names. But
I
that's
love having
cool.
a Cinderella team
Yeah.
to root for.
think
And they're like, the momentum is, they've got it going right now.
There's been some weird years. Like we had, I think Fresno State was here one year. Like Stony Brook was here one year. They kind of did what Murray State did. So we'll see if they can keep it rolling.
think it's a good feel. You get a nice representation from different parts of the country, and you get some pretty good travelers too. So we should see a lot of those fans.
I already found a crawfish boil floating around in my Facebook feed too.
LSU.
LSU fans around.
That's what they do. Are you going to go to their party and just go crash it?
I tell you what, I wanted to go to a legit one, and I imagine they know what they're doing.
They're so nice. They would welcome you.
Probably.
They really do have nice fans. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to get ready for our update into today's show. Of course, you can watch it here on streaming or over the air.
Oh, great start to your Tuesday.
Live from WOWT, First Alert 6 starts now.
Good Tuesday morning, everybody. It is 7:26. I'm Cerise Cole.
And I'm Erin Hartley. Let's get an update on a crash with Jared Lansford.
This is on 72nd. It's just off to the south of Military, I should say. It's right at the intersection with Graceland. Now, we've gotten word that this has been moved out of the road, so it should be on the shoulder. You can get through there, but do watch for that being in that area, and emergency crews may be working that scene. Elsewhere, a lot of the story is construction zone slowdowns. You've got I-80 as you're approaching Giles westbound with delays. Same story going eastbound, looking a little slow as you're getting near 144th with people taking that exit, and just a little bit slow as you're heading over 480 in that construction zone on the bridge. Rusty.
Thanks, Jared. This will be the last morning. We're in the 50s for quite a while. We have widespread 50s out there. Starting to see a little bit of warmth, though, show up. Fremont at 60. Now we're starting our climb. Now that the sun's up and doing its job. And 80 degrees by noon, 84 by 2 o'clock, and 89 and sunshine by 5. That's almost 20 degrees warmer than anything we had yesterday. The muggy meter should stay on the low end. You got the pleasant and refreshing range here for most of the area, most of the day. So that's good news. But overnight tonight, heading into tomorrow, a little more humidity in play. And we go to 93 for the high under partly cloudy skies. Then Thursday up to 91 with humidity as well. Spotty thunder shower possible there. Quick check of that heat index. Yeah, I got to start to talk about that. I don't think it's going to stray too far from the actual air temperature on Wednesday with our dew points in the mid 60s. Should feel much more warm and humid than anything we've had so far this year, though. Aaron?
John Ewing has officially been sworn in as Omaha's first elected black mayor. In City Council news, Danny Begley is the new council president. Brinker Harding is the VP.
It is 7:28. We're back with another update for you in about 25 minutes. We'll see you then.